Hello, everyone. I'm Fozzie or Cam, and welcome to the Everything Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host Will. How you doing, Will?
Doing great, Cam. Can't wait to talk some Cobra Kai. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So, as you just heard, today we will be talking about Cobra Kai. I'm very excited for this because the new season was honestly fantastic. It probably was my favorite season of the show. It was dark and gritty. It had everything I wanted it to. The finale was epic. I don't know what else to say. It was epic. I mean, yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Cobra Kai Season 5 and the new update that will be a Karate Kid reboot coming out 2024, right? Late 2024, right? Well,
Yep.
yeah.
I believe June 7th, 2024 is the release date for this so described Karate Kid reboot, which has been dubbed the return of the original Karate Kid franchise. But I believe it was Josh Shield who said on Twitter that it does not have to do with Cobra Kai, and that him and the other Cobra Kai creators don't know a lot about the movie, but that they wish it well. But we'll dive more into that later.
Alright, so do you think it could be like an origin story? I just want I just want to ask you this before we start. Do you think it could be an origin story?
I think it could be, but let me say this. It better not be a reboot of the original Karate Kid film, because there already was one in 2010.
With
But
Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son.
that's also my biggest fear right now, and I'm just like, oh, are they going to do this?
Yeah.
So
I would be upset if
yeah.
they just decided to
Uh
reboot the entire
just
franchise.
so unnecessary. You already did one.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. So, all right, Cobra Kai. Now, why don't we just start off with our general our review? Let's just start in with our review. Oh, and Silence for Later at Night says, "What do you think about Sam LaRusso?" We'll get into that later in the episode because we're gonna go over our favorite characters of this season and our
Yes.
least favorite. Uh, but Samantha LaRusso is my favorite, my least favorite character in the entire show. I really do not like Samantha LaRusso.
But
She
is that because of the character, or you're just like of Mary Mauser the actor?
uh both. I don't think she's a very well written character. I mean, there were some cool
Interesting.
scenes with her this season, like the weird bathtub thing. That was interesting. That whole
That
Stranger
was
Things
kind of
esque
Rise of
scene.
Skywalker like, where
It
Rey sees
reminded me of
herself on the
Stranger
dark side.
Things because of the
Yeah, or Stranger.
yeah
I got Stranger Things 11 and Rey and the Rise of
yeah I get that too.
Skywalker
Yeah,
vibes in that scene.
that was cool, but that's about it for Samantha LaRusso. All right, now we have to go into our actual review because I thought this was the best season of Cobra Kai. And Will, I'll let you go first. And after you're done, give it out of 10 stars.
Okay,
Give
cool.
you
Yeah. Well, I look. It's nice when we disagree on things because it adds more like entertainment to the show. But Cam accused me of recency bias, but I completely agree with you. I thought this was the best season of Cobra Kai, and here's why. The stakes were higher this time. This wasn't just some tournament. There was an actual maniac out in the world by the name of
Terry
Terry
Silver.
Silver, played by the amazing Thomas Ian Griffith. I will get into his performance and character analysis later in this episode because he was just outstanding. But the stakes were higher this time, and I felt like they took it to another level, but for real this time. Not fake, but they took it to an actual, real, another level with true life or death stakes. I thought this was the best season and that it was outstanding. And I give it a 10 out of 10.
Whoa. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I don't think I've ever given a show a 10 out of 10. Um, but it's certainly up there. All right. I'll go into I'll go into my thoughts right now. So, I thought, as you said, Thomas Ian Griffith was awesome as Terry Silver. I was actually watching an interview with him, and it's really weird seeing him in interviews because it's like Terry Silver's talking, and it's really off-putting. um,
And even when he doesn't have the ponytail in interviews, his hair is still
I know.
like classic Thomas Ian Griffith, classic Terry Silver.
Yeah. But I thought he was fantastic. It might just because of the finale, but I thought Kreese was the most interesting character, especially after watching the finale. Um, I thought he was just fantastic. I had watched some reviews and read some articles that said people were mad about, or not mad, upset about what happened with Hawk this season. I disagree. I thought he didn't do a whole lot, and maybe that's why people are mad. But honestly, I didn't see a real problem in Hawk, Jacob Bertram's performance, or anything like that. I thought Hawk was cool. I thought he was better than he was in season 4. Season 4, I thought he was a bit boring, aside from the whole Mohawk thing, the loss of Mohawk. I thought he was fantastic. I thought the whole Mexico thing was handled perfectly. We obviously knew from the trailers it wouldn't last long, and I'm glad it didn't. I also think his real father will come back in season 6 maybe, which I think she'll be their final season, but I'll talk about that after. Um, yeah, I thought this was a fantastic season. Johnny made me laugh. Chosen and what Steve Freight said, Chosen and Johnny spinoff where they're roommates and it's like a buddy comedy. That would be awesome. They were both so funny this season, and yeah, and Nancy Wheeler is better than Samantha LaRusso. Yeah,
I disagree. I can't say that.
wow, I think Nancy Wheeler is a better character than Samantha LaRusso by a long shot.
Interesting.
But overall, 8.5 out of 10 season. Fantastic.
Let me ask you this: like, what do you think could have done better to raise your grade to a 9 or 10 out of 10?
All right, let's see here. I think the worst part about the show is the teen drama sort of stuff like that, and I think that's where the writing really hits a low point in the show.
Well, I thought they like actually ended that and ended a lot of rivalries in teen drama this season, which was done so well.
Yeah, I just like that water park episode. It wasn't a bad episode.
I thought that was a really creative thing, though. And it's a big moment for Tori because it allows Tori to see that her own team cheated, which I think is a big stepping stone toward her eventually going against Cobra Kai and Terry Silver in the final episode.
That's a fair point, but I think they could have done that in a different way because I thought it was just really cheesy. And like I said, I don't think it was a bad episode or anything. I found it really cheesy, and I get it. Cobra Kai is a cheesy show. That's what it is. I mean, the writers do it on purpose, but I feel like they could have done that in a different way. But yeah, I can totally see how you would like it, Will. So I'll probably have to go with that as my least favorite episode. So what was your favorite episode, Will?
Well, how can I not say the finale? Because you have the kick-ass Johnny Lawrence scene to Running Wild by Airborne, a song I've listened to quite a lot after Johnny's scene there. And then you have the Daniel scene where he beats Terry Silver with his own Quicksilver method. So specifically because of the Daniel and Johnny, I'll call them kick-ass revenge scenes, I have to go with the phenomenal episode 10, which again accused me of recency bias, but I thought it was the best finale of the show.
Yeah, I think it was the best episode too, and I want to go in depth on this episode because it was truly stunning. And Sans Late at Night says he thinks all the spinny kicks and stuff that Samantha LaRusso does could be easily beatable. I don't know. She's trained in karate, so even if you were able to counter it, she'd probably have something else over her sleeve that she could beat you up with. That's personally not my problem with her. I don't mind her fighting style or anything. I just think the acting and the writing for the characters just, yeah. But the finale. I'll start off with my favorite stuff about the finale. Kreese, oh my gosh. I thought he was dead. I thought Kreese died. It was wonderful. I I know it's a good show when it can get me really confused and like, what the heck just happened? I That has to be a good show, you know. I thought Kreese died, and My Way by Frank Sinatra playing in the background, which I have been listening to because of the show now, even more. It's just fantastic. It's perfectly meshes together with the end of the episode, and I think it really, really sets up season 6, which we'll discuss our theories on later on. Um, so yeah, Kreese stuff was my favorite. I thought the Johnny and Chosen and Mike Barnes stuff. Oh yeah, Mike Barnes is in the show. I thought Mike Barnes was. I think we'll save Mike Barnes for after I'm finished talking about this. Um, see here. Yeah, so I enjoyed the Mike Barnes, Chosen, Johnny scenes where they were fighting all Silver's goons and stuff, and Chosen got his back sliced by Terry Silver. Wonderful. I thought the revenge scene where Daniel fights Terry Silver was fantastic. The crane kick was a bit cheesy, but once again,
really? Why do you think that was a bit cheesy?
Because he's 60 years old and he just did a crane kick on an 80-year-old man. that
But he's not 60 in the show.
That's true. That's a fair point. But it just I found it a bit ridiculous. All right.
Interesting.
So, oh yeah, Mike Barnes. Well, I'll let you go first. What were your thoughts on Mike Barnes?
Well, first of all, let me mention that I did read that Sean Kanan apparently has some other show or thing that he's working on right now, which is why he could not actually be in more episodes than we saw him in. But I thought Mike Barnes was handled wonderfully this season. I thought Sean Kanan was so rock solid in the role. They did what they do best, which is take these one-dimensional characters from Karate Kid 2 and Karate Kid 3, both flawed movies, although I still enjoy them, but they took him, a one-dimensional villain from Karate Kid 3, the weakest of the franchise in many people, including my mind, and they fleshed him out, made him more compelling, and gave you a chance to root for him now. And I loved how in the finale, it's like I was cheering for him, but I also thought that he lost his mind a bit, leaving Daniel stranded like out in a street in the middle of the woods. But I thought Mike Barnes was a wonderful addition to the show this season, and the perfect time to bring him in with Terry Silver and all that stuff.
Yeah, so honestly, I get what you're saying. I just wish he was in more episodes of the show, and obviously he'll be more in season 6.
Well, I'm just glad that there is a description for that. Sean Kanan had some other project he was working on, which prevented him from being in more episodes than he was in.
Yeah, obviously that's acceptable, but I think probably Cobra Kai is a higher priority. But once again, he gets paid for this. He made a commitment, so I totally get it. But it would have been better if he was in more episodes. It would have been more fun. But with the scenes he was in, I thought he was phenomenal. I wish he got to fight more, because with the scenes he did fight, it was so cool. I thought he just looked so like menacing. The facial expressions he was making when he was fighting, so menacing. And and that final fight with Chosen Johnny and him, I wish he didn't get knocked out with that face or whatever it was, because I would have loved to see him fight with Johnny. Alright, so let's talk about our favorite characters this season. Our number one character.
Well, I'm gonna actually split this into two categories. I'm gonna go number one character and number one actor, because I think they're two different things. For number one character, I'm gonna go with Johnny Lawrence. I was so impressed with the growth that his character made this season. He tends to make growth every season, but I thought that especially happened here in season 5, and I really feel like he did a great job making amends with his son and his, adopted son, and is really ready to be a dad now, so I'm gonna say Johnny Lawrence for best character, and for best actor, Thomason Griffith. I mean, just outstanding. Like the speech patterns. Like he does not make Terry Silver a villain that is, oh, you suck, Danny boy, screaming screaming all the time. No, it is the smooth talk that makes him even more menacing. I thought his performance was just amazing this season. So I have Johnny Lawrence's best character and him, without question, best actor, Thomas Ian Griffith.
All right, so best character for me. I'm gonna go out on a limb on this one. I'm gonna surprise a lot of people with this one. Robbie Keane.
I was so proud of Robbie this season. Actually, allow me to quickly say this. I thought Robbie was fantastic this season. I was so proud of the growth that his character made. I thought they did a great job with him. He's probably in my top 5.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where he goes into the Cobra Kai dojo and has the guts to confront Terry Silver like that.
Yeah, of course. And I just want to start off with saying Cannon Buchanan's acting has improved so much.
He's
from
great
seasons 1 through 3. He used to be with that silly long hair. He'd always have his mouth open, and he'd always say his lines really weird. But now it's like a whole, it's a different level of seriousness now. Like he's really focused, it seems, and I love it.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
I obviously love his character growth this season. His relationship with Johnny. His relationship with Miguel, and I'm glad that he's happy that his dad's gonna have another child. I got nervous that Miguel would be mad or something, but I that was quite the relief when they were both really happy for Johnny. But yeah, I thought Robbie was the best character this season, but best actor, I'm debating between Chosen. I have no clue who plays Chosen.
Yuji Okamoto.
All right, Yuji Okamoto. All right. I'm debating between Yuji Okamoto, Martin Cove, and Thomas Ian Griffith. Honestly, I could go all 3 of them. I'll take Kreese out because he wasn't.
Kreese is not in it enough for me to put him in that category, but obviously Martin Cove is phenomenal in that role.
And he just shows a different level of emotion this season, which I thought was fantastic. Terry Silver, Thomas Ian Griffith. Like you said, his line delivery totally changes up his character. But say his name one more time.
Yuji Okamoto.
Yuji Okamoto. I guess I'll end up having to go with Chosen Yuji Okamoto, because I thought his character was hilarious. I thought his fight scenes were the best. I thought he was the best acted character in the season. But
he was great.
Yeah, and Silence Late at Night says he thinks Terry was the best actor, but not the best character.
Well, I think you could make the case for him to be the best character, but just for me and my personal enjoyment, I enjoy Johnny Lawrence better than the maniac of a human being that is Terry Silver. Burning somebody's furniture stored to the ground. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, and Stephen Freight says Robbie was great, but the best. Yes, I told you I was going out on a limb. I was taking a risk. I had to go with Robbie because last season I wouldn't have chosen. I noticed he improved. Tanner Buchanan improved his acting out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it at all, and I thought it was cool. But then after watching him again this season, I realized, wow, he's actually a solid actor. And his character growth this season, I mean, with Johnny and stuff and Miguel, both of those things combined just boost him up there to be my favorite character this season.
I think I would, as I said, have Robbie in my top 5. As a fan of the show, I was really proud of him as just a human being this season with his growth.
And, Science for Later Night actually makes a really good point. You need a good actor for you to hate a character. That's a very good point. And
that is why I will have Thomas Ian Griffith as best actor this season. Because maybe I get too emotionally invested in these shows, but I swear, when Terry Silver was beating up Daniel in their fight in episode 5, I was literally fake punching the screen because I just hated Terry Silver so much. And that is because of Thomas Ian Griffith and his performance, which makes me hate Terry Silver at the level that I do.
Yeah, I thought that scene was incredible, and that makes me want to talk about the Stingray stuff. That was
I
a
love how they
major
did
plot point this season.
I love how they did his character, and even he got his revenge at the end. And I love how he talks about, being like, scared to tell people the truth about Terry Silver because he doesn't know if, Terry Silver will do something to him. So he's just a really creative character that they've put into the show throughout these seasons. And I thought another just really solid season for Stingray in season 5 as well.
Yeah, I thought he was really interesting to watch because in other seasons I thought he was a failed attempt at making a comedic character.
I always found him funny. But anyway, sorry, please continue.
I thought he was. I think they were trying a little too hard to make him funny. I thought it was perfectly fine with Johnny as the main source of comedy in the show. But they added him in, and I thought it was kind of a pointless character. There were some fun scenes there when he actually became Stingray. But this season confirmed he's a really interesting, thought-provoking character. He's kind of a loser, but it's obvious he gets kind of bullied by people. He gets bullied by Terry Silver. So it's nice to see him have some sort of redemption and finally help out Daniel and beat up those kids, which she's definitely going to face some punishment for in season 6, because that's insane. So yeah, I thought he was very interesting to watch this season. All right.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go into our theories for season 6 of Cobra Kai, which will be happening, which I'm excited for. And I just want to start off with saying, I think season 6 of Cobra Kai should be the final season of the show. What about you, Will?
I think that the show should go on as long as there is a good storyline. I think if you can't come up with much more of a good story after season 6, that season 6 should be the end. But if you feel like you have a way for season 6 to end on a cliffhanger and a heartbreaking note, I would be okay with a season 7. So I'd say maybe 2 more seasons, 1 or 2 more seasons, I would say would be good for this show. So I'll start there, and then do you want to share some theories that you have, Cam?
Yeah, sure. Alright, so theories for season 6. I've been looking online. I saw one that said Terry Silver might be terminally ill.
I saw that too.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't see that coming. I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't think they would actually do that, but
it would be interesting.
Who knows?
It would be very thought-provoking. I think it could be cool. But I also am thinking Kreese is going to live with Tori for a little bit, and we're going to find out about Tori's mother more, who I've heard theories that from the next Karate Kid, what's her face?
Hilary Swank, Julie Pierce.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
I've heard rumors that Tori's mother is her.
Is her, yeah. I've seen that too, but
I doubt it.
I don't know. By the way, Robin Lively being back as Jessica Andrews this season, I thought that was fantastic. It made a lot of sense, but I don't know about Julie Pierce's Tori's mom.
Yeah.
I just that just wouldn't make sense and I don't see a way for that to be done as wonderfully as bringing Jessica Andrews back was, because Robin Lively as Jessica Andrews this season, I thought that was a fabulous cameo.
As did I. And I had to pause it for a second, because Karate Kid 3, as you may know, is not one of the most memorable movies of all time. I was like, I've completely forgotten her name, and I was like, is that the girl from Karate Kid 3 that I don't know her name? Because I honestly had to go to IMDb and Google her name for in the movies and shows. So I feel a bit ashamed of doing that, and I feel bad as a Cobra Kai fan. But her audition and her being related to Amanda LaRusso is truly fantastic and really cool to see. I think season 6 will see Allie return, which will be nice because she's just a fantastic character. And she might, if especially if it's the final season, because she'll provide some balance in the whole thing, like she did in season 3. Also, do you know when the rumored release date is for season 6? Or around the time?
The earliest I saw was fall of next year.
Wow, that's...
like the absolute earliest.
Alright, I will totally take that. And I can honestly see him waiting till New Year's of next year because...
Well, I just think it's going to take longer because it hasn't been, renewed by Netflix, quite yet. That's why I think it'll take longer.
Yeah. Plus, they probably want to give the actors just a short break because they're filming 2 seasons of the show back to back. And
well, but there's a positive to doing that too because these actors are growing up and you have to, film, while they're still at
of course, yeah.
Still at a young age.
Yeah, and what's his face? Martin Cove and Thomas Ian Griffith are quite old, so we want to move it along.
And unless you have looked it up or read about it, you would never guess that Ralph Macchio is 60 years old.
I cannot believe that Ralph Macchio is 60 years old.
To this day, I forget about it because he looks so young, and then it's like, oh yeah, he's 60.
It's crazy. He's always looked young too, and
it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's really strange. I can't believe. Jason Gothage says Zabka needs the money. I don't think so. I think he's doing just fine.
With that one, Jason. I disagree. I think he's been the star of this entire show.
Yeah, that's
has all the money that he needs.
But I do see what you're saying. Yeah, it's not like William Zabka's big name actor. But
now he is with this show. As long as this show is out, he will be a big name actor. Yeah. Maybe he wasn't before, but he is now.
Plus, me and him are like best friends now. So
yes. And maybe me and Ralph...
November, right?
Maybe me and Ralph
October.
Macchio could become friends when I go and see him this October on his book tour.
Yeah, that'll be
in Santa Cruz. Yeah. So I look forward to that. You will always have the story on this show of taking a picture with William Zabka, and I'll share a story about what it was like to take a picture with Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I can't wait for that day. So yeah, more theories. Let's see. What do I have here? Oh, yes. All right. So I think that Chosen will not be in season 6 as much. Or if he is, I don't think he will only be in the Valley with Daniel and Johnny. Because I think he'll go back to, what's her face down there? Who was...
Kumiko?
Yes. And,
Okinawa.
Okinawa. You're providing me with all my facts. Well, I should have been more prepared for this.
No, you're fine.
So I think he's gonna be there for a bit of the season. So and he's like the muscle, and well then again he'll also be injured, but he is kind of like the muscle with Daniel, Johnny, and all those guys. He's the best fighter there, so it might leave him vulnerable to some attack. And I have no clue who the villain's gonna be for season 6. It could be Terry Silver. He could easily lawyer his way out of this one. And
there's also the new Sensei Kim, and as a fan, I hate Sensei Kim and her evil, harmful sensei training style. Great new addition to the show, but as a fan, I hated her this season. Her and Silver are both evil.
As a fan, I hated her. As a viewer, I hated her. As a critic of television, I hated her. She annoyed me so much. And I don't think that's just because she's a good actor. I thought she was just written in an annoying way. She just kind of stood there and...
I completely understand why she was written that evil, though, because she got brainwashed by her grandfather, Sensei Kim Sung-young. So I completely understand why she acted the way she did. I thought it was a great new villain addition.
Yeah, but if... I'm fine with her being a side villain for season 6 like she was in season 5. If she's the main villain, I will be so mad, Will.
once you were done, I can give you my takes on villains for season.
So I'll go quick. I think Kreese might end up making amends with Johnny and helping him out. And the biggest thing I could probably see right now, because we haven't got any plot information, no trailers, nothing. They haven't even started filming yet. So I'll probably go with Terry Silver's going to lawyer his way out of this and just come on back and get right back into the business. But that they could also pull something completely out of the blue and change that and blow my theory out of the water. But, Will, what do you think?
All right. I am going to actually say that Terry Silver will not really be in this season. I think they're going to put him on the back burner
Like Kreese in season 5?
Yes, exactly. I think they're going to put him on the back burner after how much he was in season 5. I think Sensei Kim Daeun, if I'm saying the name right, and John Kreese will be actually close to Terry Silver level evil this season. And I think that they will enter Cobra Kai into this Saikai Taikai national tournament. I am actually going to say that Kumiko will be back, but she will fly to the valley to visit Chosen. I'm going to say that.
I was thinking the opposite, but I could see that happening too.
And are you ready? I'm going to go. Maybe this is going out on a limb, but I also really could see this happening. Mr. Miyagi's funeral was in 2011. These characters must have at least met each other there or talked on the phone at some time. I am going to say that they will do the Saikai Taikai National Karate Tournament this season. I am going to say that Cobra Kai will win. And Daniel LaRusso, in his darkest hour, as Cobra Kai is ready to expand and go global, will give Julie Pierce a call on the phone, and Hilary Swank will be there for season 7, which will be the final season of Cobra Kai.
All right. So here's what I think. I think the way I see that also being a way they could proceed with this. I also see them ending it with the big tournament because that's what they've done in previous seasons, and it's probably a much easier way to end the season. But I see where you're coming from, and I think Julie Pierce will make an appearance. But I could see the tournament being the last big hurrah. But if they do that, they're going to have to make it different from the last 2 All-Valley fights like that. They did that with season 4. They changed it up. They had that weird Carrie Underwood thing.
Carrie Underwood, yeah.
Which changed it up a little bit. They had the fight scenes a little bit different. The season 1 All-Valley paid homage to the original, which I get. So if they if they end the show or even the season with that tournament, I think they're going to have to change it up a little bit, change up the format, change how they shoot it, and everything like that.
Hilary Swank, by the way, when asked about Cobra Kai recently, dodged the question. The question.
Yeah, so I think it's quite obvious she'll return, which I am so excited for. I can't wait to watch her in Cobra Kai season 6.
She was Mr. Miyagi's other student. Yeah. I really want her to be in this show. It'd be perfect and it would make total sense.
Yeah. So, that would be awesome. And I think that's all we have for this. So, actually, no.
The reboot.
Reboot, yes. I've heard it could be a Mr. Miyagi origin story, but it being kind of like a reboot, like you said, that changes my mind.
Look, nothing has me too excited about it because it's not like related to Cobra Kai. If it is like, as you're saying, like a Mr. Miyagi origin story or a Cobra Kai origin story or something like that, I think that could be really awesome. But if it is another remake of the original Karate Kid when one has already been made with Jordan Smith and Jackie Chan, I would just be like, give me a break. That would absolutely disgust me. So allow me to say, do not make it another remake of the original Karate Kid film because that would just be so unnecessary and a big old money grab.
I totally agree. Money grab, yeah, 100%.
Sony, who already did a money grab with the re-release of Spider-Man No Way Home with absolutely no new scenes that needed to be there.
Gosh, I am glad I did not buy a ticket to the No Way Home re-release. I think you should, instead of seeing Jaws, you should have saw the No Way Home re-release on $3 movie day.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, so I think that wraps up this live episode of the Everything Podcast. Will, thank you for joining me as always. Chat, thank you guys so much for commenting. We really enjoy responding to your comments and all that. So yeah, it's been an awesome